wondered, am I being a good parent to my child? Have you ever had this question in your mind? Who is my role model? And whose role model am I? Well, these are definitely things to consider, and consider very deeply, because they have a very big impact in our lives. All these questions today are going to be answered by Krishna in this shloka number 3.21. If you remember, in 3.20, Krishna was telling Arjun that even if you think you are much above the level of Karma Yoga, still you must continue to do your duties properly, because you need to be a role model for the common man, just like Maharaj Janak, etc., and the kings of his like have been. So in this shloka, he goes one step further to explain the general impact of being a role model and following a role model. But first, let's say the prayers. Om Ajnanitimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let us see what this shloka number 3.21 is telling us today. Let's read the shloka first. Yad yad acharti shreshthas tad tad evetaro janah sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. यद यद जैसे जैसे आचरती श्रेष्ठस आचरण करते हैं श्रेष्ठ लोग, लीडर्स ऑफ द सोसाइटी, तद तद वैसे वैसे फॉलो करते हैं इतरो जना कॉमन मैन ऑफ द सोसाइटी. स यत वो लोग जैसा प्रमाणम कुरुते एग्जाम्पल सेट करते हैं लोकस तद अनुवर्तते लोग वैसा ही आचरण फॉलो करते हैं. वेरी सिंपल साउंडिंग श्लोक, वेरी लॉजिकल. First, let's read the translation by Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Now in this shloka, Krishna is actually telling us the very big responsibility that the role models have, because whatever they will do, it will be followed by everyone, which means that if they do something wrong, even unwittingly, unknowingly, they will be responsible for leading everyone onto the wrong path. And just consider, you are not just responsible for your own karma, you become responsible for all the people who are following you and for their bad karma as well. So being a leader is not easy. It's not just the power that sounds enticing, the power that sounds attractive, to be in a powerful position. But to be in a powerful position also is a very, very big responsibility. Now Srila Prabhupada writes a very wonderful purport to this. Let's read some parts of the purport and catch on with our story. Srila Prabhupada says that people in general always require a leader. Now here actually we will look at this shloka in two ways. First of all, let us take us in the middle. This is us in the middle. Now, we are following on one side some role models, and on the other side, there are some people who are following us as role models. Srila Prabhupada is explaining both the aspects. First of all, he says we all need role models, and actually a society is known by the kind of role models the people follow. If people are following very great, brilliant role models, the society is bound to have a high consciousness. But if the society starts following role models like the movie stars, then we can take it for sure that the society is going downhill. The consciousness of the society is declining. Just to make a small point here in this case, if we are following a movie star like Amitabh Bachchan who drinks Pepsi or Coca-Cola, if he comes on the screen and says drink Coca-Cola, drink Pepsi, we have to understand what a big responsibility he has on his shoulders, because if he promotes that, then the entire society is going to follow him. So you see, there are movie stars who are campaigning for all sort of unspeakable things that they probably don't use themselves. Still, the entire society is following them because they are the role models. It's sad to say that we are really in want of good role models. Srila Prabhupada is further saying that a leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Isn't that obvious? If I am not following a certain thing and I'm asking somebody to follow it, then what I say to that person will not hold any potency. It will not hold any strength. There's a story I'm remembering here. There was once a mother, who took her small child to a guru who was visiting the village. And everybody was going for his darshans because he was a great sant. So this mother took her child to this sant, and when the time came, when they went up to him, she asked the guru that, Guruji, please ask my son not to eat so many sweets. He eats too many sweets. It's spoiling his teeth. He's constantly eating something sweet or the other. I really want you to ask him not to eat sweets. So the guru says, all right, ma'am, you come after a week. Then I will ask your son, not to eat sweets, and I'll give him the required instruction. So the mother is a little puzzled, but she goes away. Then later, when she comes back after 1 week with the same plea, then the guru he calls that child near to him and he says, child, it's not good to eat so many sweets. It's going to spoil your teeth, and anyway, so much sugar in your system is going to spoil your health also later on, And when he gives that instruction, it makes sense. Now the mother is a little puzzled. You could have said the same things, Guruji, last week when I came here with my child. Why didn't you do that? So the guru said, ma'am, last week even I was eating sweets. Now when I'm doing the same thing but I'm asking somebody else not to do it, it will not have any potency. The child would never have followed me. So for 1 week, I completely abstained from sweets, and now when I say this, my heart, my instruction holds conviction. And that's why Srila Prabhupada explains that Lord Chaitanya says that a teacher should behave properly first and then begin teaching. Because one who teaches in that way, that means one who teaches by example, by following what he is saying himself first, he is called an acharya. In other words, one who walks his talk is an acharya. Otherwise, he's simply just any shikshak, any teacher. So acharya is one who first practices what he preaches, and that is so important. In this shloka, Krishna doesn't say that the Shrestha people what they speak, people will follow. No. The Shrishtas or the leaders may keep speaking all sorts of idealistic things, but people will not follow what they speak. People will follow their acharan, which means people will follow what they are practicing in their lives. This is so important to understand for us. Now, also, Prabhupada goes on to say that one who teaches in that manner is called Acharya, and therefore a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra to teach the common man. So here Srila Prabhupada is pointing that a leader or an Acharya has a very big responsibility, because lots of common men are following him and he is responsible for the direction they will go. So what principles, what instructions must he teach the common man through his practice? Well, one might say, okay, what I think is right, I will teach the common man. But no, that's not the way. There has to be a standard law book by which he must practice and preach. Which means I just can't practice and preach what my whims and fancies tell me. Which means what I think to be correct, I will teach the people. What I don't think right, I will not do it. But that's not the way. For instance, suppose your child is going or he's migrating to, say, a country like Belgium, like take any country, say Belgium, to study, right? He's going there for a couple of years to study. Now, you might want to give him some instructions on what to do, what not to do, how to drive on the streets, the traffic rules, for example. But just let's say, if you teach the traffic rules according to what you think, your speculations, which means, okay, I think in Belgium you should drive on the left or right or whatever. I'm not familiar with the rules in Belgium, but the point is, if you are giving an instruction to your child, you must first know what are the traffic rules in Belgium. You cannot teach the rules according to your own speculations. Similarly, when we are teaching someone, we must make sure that what we are teaching is according to a law book. Now we can ask, what are these law books? Actually, the Shastras which are given to us by Krishna, by God, in the form of so many revealed scriptures like the Vedas, like Manu Samhita, like Bhagavad Gita, like Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the law books according to which Krishna wants us to live. So we must encourage those who follow us to live by the Shastras. So in our lives, it is so important to know what are these Shastras. Otherwise, we might very well be guiding our dependence on the wrong path. He further writes that a teacher's teachings should be based on the principle of such standard Shastras like Manu Samhita is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purports, but the Bhagavad, all these are standard Shastras. These are law books. These are the instructions that God gives us, how to, lead your lives, what to do, what not to do. And therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees. Now let's come to the question of say, spiritual enlightenment. Material knowledge is one thing, but if you are seeking spiritual knowledge in our life, then if we need a teacher for teaching us mathematics or chemistry or cooking or any other skill or art or science, how can we lead the spiritual life without an acharya and a guru? That means the Shastra is revealed to us not by itself but by a guru. So reading the Shastras with the help of a guru is what will take us on the right path and our dependence also on the right path. And sometimes we might wonder, okay, this shlok is meant for the leaders of the society. So who is a leader? Now Srila Prabhupada says there are some natural leaders in the society. Firstly, the king. Now, of course, we don't have kings anymore in most parts of the world, but we have whoever is the executive head of the state. It could be the prime minister, it could be the chief minister, it could be the president. So obviously these are leaders of the society, but not just them. Srila Prabhupada says a parent, a father that is, and a teacher, these are all leaders of the society. There are some people who are following these people also, which means every one of us, in whatever position we are, is a leader to someone. There's somebody who's dependent on us. There's somebody who is following us as a role model. So each one of us has the responsibility of knowing the Shastras and teaching according to the Shastras and practicing it, of course. Now, I am again reminded of a story, a very interesting story. This story my mother used to tell me when we were young, and it just stuck in my head. So the story goes like this. There is a criminal who's caught stealing. He's a serious offender. He's been stealing again and again and again, some small petty thefts and some big thefts, but ultimately the police nabs him and brings him to the court. So now when he's standing in the courtroom and all the witnesses have testified against him and the judge has ruled against him, which means the court has held him guilty. He is to be sent for punishment. Could be anything, a few years in jail probably, right? Now that thief is asked by the judge, do you have any last wish before you're sent for a life sentence? So he says, yes, I want to see my mother once. So okay, the mother is called there, and when the mother goes to that thief near that place where he's standing, he leans over as if to say something in her ear. So she cocks her ear forward to hear what the son is trying to say to her. And oh my God, you know what the thief does? He doesn't say anything. He just bites off the ear so tightly that the mother is left screaming in pain. And she's just revolting and saying, why? What was that? What did I do to deserve it? You know what the thief says? Mother, when I was stealing small things, small petty things when I was a child, just pilfering here, one thing here and a small vegetable there I was picking up from, people's stands. You never discouraged me. You never told me it's wrong. And it was because of that today I am standing here as a convict. And it is all because of you, because you did not teach me the right things. That actually goes on to show us how important it is how we teach our children by practice, by what we follow. For instance, if we keep telling our children, don't watch too much TV, but we are watching TV. You might keep telling your parents, your children, don't be stuck to your mobile phones. Just leave the mobile phones for a while. Go study. But if we ourselves are glued to our mobile phones, fat chance that the children will listen. So we have to be acharyas for our children. And once again, a very important consideration comes up that if we ourselves don't know the Shastras, if we ourselves do not know the laws properly, God's laws, what will we teach our children? And therefore, it's our responsibility to know what Krishna has given us in these law books. And that's why I humbly request all of you to take up the study of these beautiful Shastras like Bhagavad Gita, like Srimad Bhagavatam, maybe just one shloka, and us is actually to be done. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, there comes a beautiful shloka which never fails to strike me. I'll first recite the shloka and then we can know the meaning. It says, Guror na sasyat, swajano na sasyat, Pita na sasyaj, janani na sasyat, Daivam na tatsyan, na pitash chat sasyan, na mochayed yaha samupeta mrityum. What this shloka means is that do not become a parent, do not become a teacher, do not become a relative, do not become a deva or a devata or a leader for that matter, unless you can ensure that those who are dependent on you will be delivered from this cycle of birth and death. This is so profound. When I heard it for the first time, I realized what an immense responsibility it is to be a parent to someone, or a teacher to someone, because I am a teacher too. So I have no right to be a parent, I have no right to be a teacher unless I can ensure to guide my children on a path which will deliver them out of this cycle of birth and death, which means which can deliver them from this material world, which can lead them towards a moksha, or higher still, towards devotion to Krishna, devotion to God. So unless I can do that, I will not have fulfilled my duties properly. This is what the Shastras say. We might keep telling ourselves that if I have provided for the material needs of my child, if I have given my child food, if I have given my child education, a good shelter, beautiful clothes, a career, then I have fulfilled my duties well. But the Shastras say, no, that's not enough. Unless you can show the path to liberation from this material world to your children or to your students, if you are a teacher, then you are far from having, done your duty. It's very profound, actually, very eye-opening, because when we keep living our lives according to our own speculations, our own thought processes, thought patterns, or what we have heard from here or from there, sometimes the reality is far from that, and Shastras, with the help of the Guru, is what will open our eyes to what needs to be done if we are in this human life. We must choose our role models very carefully, and we must be very careful to be a role model to our children. So much for today. The only thing that's remaining to be said in the end is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra takes us on the path to spiritual realization, because it is a transcendental mantra. We can begin by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra few times a day at least, so that slowly we are, led to that path. Because when we start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna starts guiding us towards the right path, towards the right people. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare